Hello, hello, am I audible? 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 Let me start. Today we will discuss on the junior doctors movement. Yes, junior doctors movement, which is continuing even after the 5 weeks of the brutal rape and murder of the doctor. Yes. Hello. হ্যাঁ বলো। ইকোটা কেন হচ্ছে জানি না তো। হ্যাঁ, মাইক্রোফোনটা নেই দেখি। হ্যাঁ, yes. And the incident which has taken place is unique. Possibly no one has heard of such an incident with series of facts. First, a lady doctor doing his post-graduation second year in one of the pioneer medical colleges in the city of Calcutta, on duty in his own department, gang raped and murdered. Number one. Number two, and the whole system, the whole administration, civil and police, actively engaged in destruction of all the evidences. And then a reaction from the junior doctors of the campus, and also then the senior doctors of the campus and junior and senior doctors of all the medical colleges of this state. Also response from the people of different planes of the city, and that is echoed in different cities and towns all over the country, and also then different cities all over the world. I have never seen in my last 50 years of active career in medical life, I never seen such a response, such cooperation, such reaction, such protest against the brutal rape and murder. Then the question is, has the junior doctors leadership been able to use this opportunity to properly fight for their demands? Definitely the primary demand and number one demand is the justice for Dr. Abhaya, definitely. But at the same time, other fights has been opened up, because this murder is secondary to systemic corruptions in this medical college, in education and administration, in finance, and also in other medical colleges of the state. This is the secondary to these massive corruptions in all planes, in all the medical colleges, including this Harjikar campus. And naturally, those black areas, dark areas has been opened up the moment the CBI and ED has come after the order of the High Court and Supreme Court. Naturally, in the list of demands of the junior doctors, many other demands agendas has come, but they must not forget the primary demand, that is the demand of the justice for Dr. Abhaya. The question is, has this leadership of the junior doctors been able to stick to that primary agenda, and has they been able to properly move towards their other agendas? Has they anywhere shown their weaknesses, lacunas in their steps? Are they misguided? Are they misguided? These are the questions are coming up step by step. In last 5 weeks, one thing has been seen by others, outsiders, those who are we are the senior doctors, retired doctors and common people, that in this movement some old persons has entered into, those at one time in the days of the CPM era, those who were the part and parcel of the corruptions in different medical colleges. They are now has entered into this movement. And also we have seen some political gangs of the whom we call the ultra lefts, the Break India groups with their slogans, Azadi slogans, in these movements, which is not good for this movement. But the leadership of these junior doctors has allowed them to be with them in the processions. On the contrary, and maybe they have come here without their flags, good, very good, but the moment some persons of the BJP or Sangha Parivar, when they try to come near these processions, there is extra reactions, overreactions, allergic reactions, knee jerks. Why this differential behavior? Is this doing good to this movement? And moreover, what we have seen, the junior doctors which they are placing demands to in front of the secretaries of this government, even the chief minister, is this charter of demands is well documented, properly made, and you may call, the junior doctors may call, we are not politicians, we are not mature persons, but remember, you are fighting for your agendas, for your demands against a very cunning, mighty politician, very seasoned, cunning, mighty politician. And if you tell I am not a politician, I do not like politics, that will not help you. This will not help you. Okay, you are not in active politics, but you must know politics. So you are fighting with a politician. If your enemy country is armed with nuclear warheads, you cannot tell that I will never adopt, never take, never produce nuclear warheads. You have to. Maybe you will not use that, but in your hand you must have nuclear warheads. When you are fighting a cunning politician, a mature, seasoned politician, you have to know the tidbits that and a politics. You must have, you must know, because whatever you demand, whatever you fight, your enemy, your opposite groups will tackle you in a political way. If you don't know the political ways, the political maneuverings, you are bound to fail. And maybe you are younger persons, but you must have behind you some wise politicians, those who can help. They need not come in front, they need not come to your processions, but you must have that, borrow that wisdom, take that wisdom, take that advices. You must take, otherwise you will fail. And one thing, when you are at war with a ruler, very mighty, notorious, cunning, remember that mighty ruler has got many organs to see you, to gauge you, to measure your strength, quantity and quality. Their intelligence, their police force, they are gauging you, they are measuring you, they are trying to find your weaknesses. Remember, in any part of the world, any time when they ruled, the subjugated subjects fight with the ruler, there are two fronts, there are two sides. You are ruled, you are subjugated, and in front of you the ruler, you are demanding something from them. Remember, in this fight, in the steps of the fight, you are learning something. At the same time, your ruler in the opposition, they are also learning. They are learning many things, and they are acquiring, they are collecting informations about you, and they are making strategies to tackle you. You must remember, and whatever steps you will place in front of them, step by step they will react, and the moment, in an opportune moment, they may destroy you. That's why you must know what your ruler, your enemy, next step they are thinking of, they are planning for. You must know how they will react to your steps, what will be your next step. You must know. And today I will discuss and this matter in the eye of history. History, I will pick up the first decade of the last century, the Bengal partition. In Bengal partition, what happened? What the people of this country was doing and what the British was reacting. What were their steps to counter the activities of the nationalists? How they placed their steps, how they are preparing themselves to preserve the interest, the colonial interest in this country. How they are measuring you the nationalists, how they are measuring you, how they are measuring your steps, how they are countering your steps. I will come to that. I will discuss that area. In my hand I have 3 volumes. One is the volume of the History of Modern Bengal, volume 2 of the R.C. Majumdar. Other one is Nation in Making by Sir Surendranath Banerjee, and other volume is Renaissance India, 19th century by R.C. Majumdar. I will just quote from these 3 volumes. Okay, please listen to. Okay, Joydev, Sarkar, Konkona. Think, in the last part of the 19th century, from the last part of the 19th century, gradually in this Bengal means this Bengal at the center, the Calcutta was the capital of British India and of the British Empire in this globe, and Calcutta was the second capital of the British Empire. Politically, economically important, next to London. Clear? And centering around this Calcutta, the political consciousness arose. Political consciousness of the people arose because the people of this city and the people of Bengal around Calcutta, they came in contact with the British education, British literature, British political history, their maneuvers, their activities, and also the people of this city, they came to know the history of the other countries of the Europe, their nationalism, like Germany, Italy. They are nationalists, they are patriots, their history. They knew how the first Asian force, Japan was fighting a European force, that is Russia, on the Pacific region. That was energizing them. That was generating a national spirit in Calcutta and around it. And then I will, yes. So see, in this city, we all say Jamindars was very bad. No, Jamindars has got a positive role in many aspects. Their associates, their associations in the middle of the 19th century, the Jamindars Association. They were thinking in terms of how to do good to their subjects in their Jamindari. The Jamindars Association, the preeminence political ideas in those organizations, there was different ideas how to do good to the people, to the subjects of this Jamindari. And then came one association in 1851, that is 19th century middle, that is British Indian Association, that was formed in Calcutta. Their idea was to formulate the demands of the people and place those demands to the British rulers. And then came Indian League on 25th September. I am reading from Renaissance India, 19th century by R.C. Majumdar. Then came Indian League, established in 25th September 1875. And this league, at the Daily Englishman wrote in Calcutta, the first marked sign of awakening of people of this on this side of India to political life. Indian League was soon replaced by Indian Association, which was inaugurated in public meeting on July 26, 1876. It was attended by Surendranath Banerjee, though his only son died that morning. Think. And he has got his plans and programs for this Indian Association, which you call Bharat Sabha. That is the first All India Association, having branches in different parts of the British India, in different parts, in Central India, South India, West India, East India, Ceylon, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was part of British India at that time, in all parts, all branches, and they were organizing annual conferences. And this Indian Association has got a mission. That mission is, number one, creation of a strong body of public opinion in the country, the unification of the Indian races and people upon the basis of common political interests and aspirations. Number three, the promotion of friendly feelings between Hindus and Muslims. Remember, when some Indians is doing this, a political organizations all over the country, national, British is not sleeping. Their intelligence feeding them this development, that Indians have formed a national political party. Naturally, they are planning how to react it. Remember, this organizations, an association, is the first all India political body aspiring the future of this country, and naturally the British is planning to react, how to react. Remember, on the opposite side, British is gauging, his intelligence is there, they are feeding the British authorities what they are doing, and they are planning. The first All India conference of this Indian association was held in Calcutta in the year 83, in Calcutta. National conference held in Calcutta in December 28, 29, 30, 1983, and the delegates came from all over the country. Yes, delegates came from Upper India, Benares, Allahabad, Kanpur, Lucknow, Aligarh, Delhi, Agra, Meerut, Amritsar, Lahore, Allahabad, Kanpur, all these things, even Sri Lanka, they came, Meerut, all these. And the second All India conference was in this city. The second session of the national conference was held in Calcutta in 1885, December 25, 6, 7. It was more representative than the first one. The British Indian Association represented only the landlords, but this association represented the intelligentsia of this country from different parts of this country. Okay, and their state-wise conferences was held in at different times, and you see British is seeing this, observing this, how they reacted. That's how they reacted. This development by the nationalists, a nationalist upsurge, without the help of the British will not tolerate. They will break you, they will counter you. How they counter it? You know how they counter it? They counter it. Yes. You know, Congress was given birth to in Bombay suddenly in December 1985. I am reading. The conference is of course the first session of the Indian National Congress held in Bombay on December 28, 1885. The simultaneous holding of these two All India national organizations is a mystery which is not easy to solve. Perhaps no less mysterious is also the silent self-effacement of the national conference in favor of the Congress. Who is writing this? Professor R.C. Majumdar. Simultaneously, in the last week of December 1985, in Calcutta, the second annual session of the National Conference, and in Bombay, Robert Hume, the retired secretary of the Viceroy, Robert Octavio Hume, is arranging Congress, the first session in Bombay, picking up Umesh Chandra Banerjee from Calcutta to Bombay, keeping him in front. In front is Umesh Banerjee, but real mechanism in the hands of the British. Hume, absolutely British mechanism. And this sudden birth of the Congress, it has this history of birth of Congress is very short. On the contrary, the birth of the Indian Association history is very long, and there the characters all are Indians, Bharatians. On the contrary, behind the birth of the Congress, the principal character is a British, Robert Octavio Hume. His mechanism. In front only few Indians. difference. And what happened next? And the associates of Surendra Banerjee, they saw in India another all India political party is formed, backed by the British himself, the ruler himself, the mightiest ruler of the world. Hand of Hume means the hand of the British Viceroy. British Viceroys mean the strength of the British Empire. Half of the world, who is ruling half of the world. Naturally, and you see, next what you see, gradually, till now, up to 1885, Indian Association was a politico-social body, national political social body, a socio-political body. And then what we see, all the members of the Indian Association, including Suren Banerjee, they switched over to Congress. And Suren Banerjee has to erase the political identity of the Indian Association. Can you imagine? The man, Suren Banerjee, who formed this Indian Association with all its might, its money, energy, intelligence, Indian Association, can it be a spontaneous one, a natural, easy one, without some pressure from behind? Definitely not. And Professor R.C. Majumdar has tried to find out the mystery of the self-effacement, spontaneous self-effacement, so-called spontaneous self-effacement of Sir Suren Banerjee and joining Congress. What was there? A severe pressure, definitely my analysis, a severe pressure of the British. Suren Banerjee saw Congress has been formed by the might of the British Empire itself. You cannot fight parallelly by your association against this Congress and the British. And from those days, Indian Association is only a social body, not a political body. You see how British reacted. Then coming forward towards but still in Bengal, the national spirit gradually increasing. National development, the national spirit was being manifested in culture, in education, in politics, in all spheres. A national spirit was increasing in Bengal, around Calcutta, in and around Calcutta. Even with the birth of Congress, self-effacement of national conference, it did not stop. Then what British did? It saw in Bengal, British Bengal, which is the biggest province of the British India, politically most important and economically, intellectually most important. What they did? British policy, colonial policy, anywhere in the world, whenever it faces a challenge, its weapon is divide and rule. Yes. Lord Curzon is a very intellectual man, very wise, very intellectual man. He designed partition of Bengal, weak the Bengal, weak the intelligentsia of Bengal, weak the national spirit of Bengal, divide Bengal. Yes. Two governors on two sides, East Bengal, West Bengal. West Bengal comprised of this part of West Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, and East Bengal composed of eastern part of Bengal, Assam, North Bengal, this area, divided. And against this division, the intelligentsia of Bengal arose. There is a sharp reaction against this partition of Bengal. There is movement against this partition, and this movement spread all over the country, going beyond the boundary of Bengal up to Punjab, Maharashtra. That spread all over, and that angered the intelligentsia, and the divide and rule policy of British was exposed, and nationalist movement meetings went on continuing all over the world, all over the country. Similarly, what happened after this destruction of the evidence of the Dr. Abhaya rape and murder, there is awakening all over the country, and that awakening is beyond the boundary of Calcutta, beyond the boundary of Bengal, beyond the boundary of this country. That is the beginning of Agni Yug of Bengal, and that Agni Yug not only of Bengal but also Maharashtra, Punjab, Agni Yug. And you see, when when the Lord Curzon has divided this Bengal, what was his language? What was his reasoning? His reasoning was, Bengal is a very vast province. For the comfort, for better administration of this Bengal, we are dividing Bengal. The language was better administration, but really behind the mind, it was divide and rule and appeasement of Muslims, appeasing the majority Muslims of the East Bengal, appeasement of Muslims. That was the real agenda. I will read from the Suren Marujje. Yes, let me read it. The nation in making. Yes, nation in making. What he has written? He purchased the favor of Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka. He purchased the favor of Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka for his plan of partition of Bengal with money, and also increasing his prestige and power in Dhaka. This is, I am telling from the nation in making. But even after that, Curzon could not face the movements all over the country against partition of Bengal. He had to undo this partition of Bengal. At that time, Surendranath Marujje was the leader of these movements, and in this movement came many big figures. Suren Marujje, Ananda Mohan Bose, the Kavi Guru Rabindranath Tagore himself, all intelligent, Bipin Chandra Pal, all brilliant intelligentsia of Bengal, including Lal Bal, Lala Rajput Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, all, every. And at one time, the British was compelled to issue a circular of undoing the partition. In December 12, 1911, by made by His Majesty from Delhi, undoing of the partition of Bengal. And that time, you know, Suren Banerjee was worshipped as God. He was named as Surrender Not Banerjee. His famous statement, British is telling partition of Bengal is settled fact. I will unsettle the settled fact. And he did it. And the partition, which British called a settled fact, the nationalists of India, of Bengal, unsettled that. And Suren Banerjee was at that time worshipped as Surrender Not Banerjee. This may be apparently a defeat of the British, but what then they did? This loss, how they compensated. From this event, British learned something. What they learned? British learned two things. One is that they have divided Bengal without proper preparation, because there should be some political groups, some powers who will welcome that partition, those will support the British for this partition, because there are many intellectual persons and political groups like Indian Association and Congress who are fighting against partition, but there is little powers to maintain the partition of Bengal. That learning British got. That's why in 1906, just next year of partition of Bengal, long before undoing the partition, they gave birth to one political party called Muslim League. Muslim League was formed in Dhaka, Shahabag Garden, with the help of this very person, Nawab of Dhaka, Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka. The partition was modified on December 12, 1911 by announcement made by His Majesty from Delhi. I had heard about it a week before, but from the general public and from the newspaper press it was kept a secret. Indeed, the officials and others most interested knew nothing at all about it until the news. Among them was the late Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka, who was the government's right-hand man in supporting the partition and securing the assent of the Mohammedan community of East Bengal. He got a honor of GCIE as a solace, but to the last he remained unconvinced and unreconcilable. As a gentleman, the Nawab was without an equal. As a politician, he was narrow but shrewd, with the fund of common sense, and that made him a tower of strength to his supporters and the government. Next, what? In 1906, with the help of this Nawab, with extra money donated to this Nawab from the fund of Bengal governor, Muslim League was formed in Shahabag Garden of Dhaka. This Muslim League party, a communal party for communal demand for the Muslims separately in this country. And this Muslim League formation, with the help of the British, helped British a lot subsequently. And this party was all along remained pro-British. And in this way, your enemy, your counterpart learns how to counter you. They formed, first you see how they formed Congress to counter National Association, Indian Association. Then they formed Muslim League, a party who will speak only for the interests of the Muslims, a Muslim appeasement. Muslim appeasement. See, at one place, what? At one place, yes, and at one place, the British is telling 328. I am quoting 328. Yes, at one place. The partition was modified in December 328. Yes, GC. And at one place, the governor of East Bengal is telling, I have got 2 wives. Governor of East Bengal is telling, I have 2 wives. One is Hindu, other is Muslim. But Muslim wives is my more favorite. Anything you want? This is clear appeasement of the Muslims, clearly favoring the Muslims and favoring Islamic fundamentalism to rise in this country to counter nationalism. Remember, communalism is the real counter of nationalism. And this way, how much time it is? This way, remember one thing, when you are fighting with your enemy, countering your enemy, your ruler, you must be conscious about the ability of your enemy, of your ruler, because every time, by all its organs, your enemy, your ruler is measuring you, observing you from all angles. They are gauging, recording all your weaknesses. And this junior doctors movement, I think I have covered this historical part of this partition of Bengal and formation of Muslim League, also before that formation of the Congress. And you see, every time throughout the whole period of the British rule in India, they have used Congress, they have used Muslim League. Also subsequently, the Communist Party, they have always kept some very favorable persons in strong positions in all these parties, Congress, Muslim League and Communist Party. Always in the official chairs, in steering, in driving positions, always some pro-British person. That has helped the British to continue its rule in Bharatvarsha, and also that helped him to the transfer of power. You must know these maneuvers of your enemy. And here you see, when the junior doctors place their demands, that should have been very articulated. But still, I must tell that they must a lot, they have done a lot, because in my last 50 years of my active life in medical side, I have never seen such a tremendous movement backed by the people of this Bengal, people of this city, villages of this Bengal, and the cities all over the country and across the boundary and from beyond the boundary of this nation, country. And if they fail to get benefits from this, there will be great loss for the doctors community. Great loss. They must use this opportunity. And you see, when they are placing their demands, they should not dilute it so easily. And at the House of Chief Minister in Kalighat on the first day. What we show? This is a humiliation. This is a humiliation. And the junior doctors leaders, their demands, they are coming down. When at the end, suddenly Chief Minister took a volte-face. Suddenly he refused to continue the meet. And they dropped their demand for continuous screening, telecasting. But even that, after that, suddenly CM refused to meet, telling that it's late night. But actually what happened? His intelligence gave her the news that already in the case of rape and murder, Oshi Tala and the ex-principal has been arrested. Before that they are arrested in some other charges, but that disheartened CM. And this may be interpreted in a different way, that CM humiliated, insulted so many junior doctors who presented themselves in front of his house. Humiliation. And today you see, yesterday night, junior doctors met for more than 2 hours in Nabanna, and this principal secretary refused to give the notes of the minutes of the meeting. That's an insult. That's an insult. And I hope from these movements, from failures, from criticism, these junior doctors will gain wisdom to be more mature. But whatever, one thing I can tell you, the first agenda of justice for Abhaya is not depending mainly on this movement. Now it is depending on to what extent the CBI will be successful to collect evidences, secondary and circumstantial, because the direct evidences are destroyed, and get evidences of the criminals who has destroyed evidences. There lies the root of success. Hope that will be there, and other agendas they will be able to succeed if they are mature enough. And I hope they will not make much mistakes, and whatever, at least their movement has given the backbone to the intelligentsia of Bengal and to the senior doctors like us to speak out. For many decades, for 3 to 4 decades, senior doctors are not reacting to the misdeeds of the government, either CPM or TMC. They are just tolerating. And it is now, after this movement, after this incident, the senior doctors and intelligentsia of Bengal who are silent now has become vocal. That's a good sign. And the ED, in a way, they have entered into many areas and many finance corruptions, the areas of financial corruptions of thousands of crores for many years, which is continued. I think that will be unearthed. There is another side of this chapter. Let me stop here. But good evening, sir. Raja Mitro. সংখ্যালঘুদের হিন্দু ভয়ঙ্কর অবস্থায় আছে, তাদের প্রতি মুহূর্তে তাদের জীবন বিপজ্জনক. That's a very serious area. Indrani, good morning. And yes, let me stop here today.